Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to another episode of the official Nintendo Manchester podcast. I'm your host, Andy. Joining me today is a man who ruined his audition for the main role in Pokemon Snap by accidentally running over a family of Diglett in the 01 buggy. It's our friendly neighbourhood photographer, Graham.
Hey, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing great, thanks. How was your holiday?
My holiday was fantastic, thank you.
Marvellous, and you came back with a tan, and everyone else here also had a tan because of the heat.
Yeah, not so much of a tan, to be honest. As you know, I've still got a little bit of one, but yeah, it's not too bad.
Definitely got a head start on us anyway.
Oh yes.
Right, so I think today we're going to start firstly by thanking everyone who came to our last event at Bar 21. It was a post E3 celebration event where we had a series of games which were related to what was being featured in Nintendo's presentation and in the Treehouse. So we had Smash Brothers and Overcooked and a variety of other things. But nonetheless, thank you everyone who arrived. And without you, there would be no group.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, Graham, well, we didn't have you for the last episode, so tell us, what have you been playing recently?
Well, when I went to Greece, I was playing quite a bit of Yoku's Island Express, but not as much as I thought I was going to play because I managed to get back into Super Mario Odyssey,
Oh, yes.
and I managed to complete it.
Woo! What,
I
you
know,
got all of
great.
the moons?
Not all of them, no. I've got about 450.
No,
Um,
you're about halfway
but
then.
yeah, but I loved the ending to that game. Yeah, I'm not going to go into spoiler territory. I know the game's been out for quite a while, but we do have some people who have yet to play it, unfortunately. So, I won't go too much into the story, but I love the ending. It was a very, very, very well thought out idea. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I thought it was quite modern.
Yes, but also with that touch of retro, which is also part of the game as well.
But it's always
Uh,
part of Mario's roots.
yes, yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, the game is just an outstanding achievement. Uh, yeah.
Ah, sweet. Is it just been those two you've been playing?
Yes, yeah. Just those two on the Switch. Yeah.
Ah, cool. Like the last time, I've also been putting in a lot of time into Hyrule Warriors because yeah, I had it on the Wii U and I had it on, well, not had, I have them on the Wii U and on the 3DS, but because they were essentially two separate titles, it was hard to make any big impact in progression on both games. So I never really got that far with them. I think I only got about halfway through the adventure mode, the first map on that.
I'm still very tempted to buy the game at the moment. I still have the version for the 3DS. And I've yet to complete that one, but I I love the idea. I thought it's an amazing game.
It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, of course, you have to do a lot of grinding in the game to get the items in order to power up your players and your characters and what have you. But it makes it a lot easier when you've got it on the same system on your telly and when you're on the move as well. So I've made a lot more progress with that. I've opened up the entire story mode and I've even made a start. I'm about halfway through the second map based on Wind Waker. So definitely
Ah,
further ahead
so
already.
it's a perfect train game for you.
Yeah, I've been taking advantage of that. Well, other games I've been playing recently, well, at time of recording, yesterday, I got my hands on Wolfenstein 2, as many of you might have noticed on the group. And I've got to say,
Yeah, I noticed on your social media post, along with your nice shiny keyring along with it as well.
oh yes, that's in my cabinet. It's never going on a set of keys. But I've got to say, I've been putting in some time in it recently, and when you're not paying attention, you wouldn't think it was on a tablet device. The way that Panic Button have brought this game across over to the Switch is phenomenal. They've done some great work with that. I think if you were to scrutinize the finer details, you can see a bit more pixelation, you can see a bit more blurriness, but the game runs smooth. The story and the acting of the characters is top notch. It's excellent.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this game was one of my picks for Game of the Year last year as well. Yeah, as you said, the acting's phenomenal. Um, the game itself, it's just so fluid, so fast, and it just looks absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, they've put a lot of effort into that, and it's a
Yeah, they
faithful
have.
part of the game from
Yeah,
the other platforms.
yeah. How they've managed to do it, that's it's genius. It's a genius move for them.
But they've learnt a
And
lot from Doom,
it's
haven't they?
yeah, they have, yeah. And with Bethesda's actually been a very, very big supporter of the Nintendo Switch. And I mean, these two games are probably the most graphically challenging.
Yeah, definitely. The games. I assume you're talking about Wolfenstein and Doom.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they are very graphically intense, and there's a lot of action-packed adventure in
yeah,
those games, and they
yeah.
managed to capture that in the part. It's not really been lost.
No. And it gives us a lot of hope on future releases as well that Bethesda have done as well. Could this mean a potential Fallout 4 port?
Here's hoping. Or
That would
if they jump straight into it and surprise us all with a bringing Fallout 76 over. So I think they said it wasn't going to be on
yeah,
Switch.
yeah. I'm not too sure about that one at the moment. But that would be a very, very nice surprise, and I'm sure it'll sell millions of copies as well.
Yeah. The last game I've been trying out recently, I've managed to squeeze in about 15, 20 minutes in today, got to be honest, but I'm told by many people I have to put in more time on this game. The game I'm talking about, Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo Edition.
Oh,
Because that just came out on the Nintendo Select, so you can get the same game for a lot cheaper. And a lot of people who play Animal Crossing say, Andy, if you like Pocket Camp, you're gonna love this. So what the heck? I picked it up.
and how did you find it?
It's bizarre. It's not something that other people who've played Animal Crossing would find, because my first foray into Animal Crossing was Happy Home Designer, but that's not a typical Animal Crossing game.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the first proper dip into Animal Crossing for me was Pocket Camp on my phone, and I play
Okay,
that every day, helping
right.
out the animals and stuff. And
Yeah,
now I've had a quick go at New Leaf, and a lot of the assets are the same. Obviously, the same animals are in them, and you've got daily objectives or incentives that you've got to do, just like you do in Pocket Camp. And I can see why people get sucked into that franchise.
yeah,
It's always
yeah.
bringing you back in.
It is. It's one of those games where you can do so much throughout the day. A lot of fishing, a lot of planting of flowers and trees and things like that, and also doing like little tasks for your residents of your town. Um, yeah, it is, and it's also one of those games like once you've done pretty much everything for the day, you can just like turn your system off, relax, maybe play a few other games as well, and come back the next day, and you can see the progress on your trees that you've planted, pick up some, dig up some new fossils and things. So it's fresh every single day.
Yeah. Or if for any reason whatsoever you might have left it for a few weeks, months, if a couple of horror stories I've heard online, years, and then you come back to it and you've got weeds everywhere.
weeds everywhere and cockroaches in your house.
Oh,
You actually have to stamp on them. You're running around squishing them, and you see the little ghosts
oh!
like floating up in the air afterwards as well. Yeah,
Please tell me you're joking.
I'm not joking. No, yeah. Well, I can't remember. I can't remember about the little ghost thing. I can't remember that one. So, but yeah, definitely you have to stand on them. You have to run around squishing them.
Oh. Hopefully, I'm not going to leave the game too long. That I'm going to be in that position, but I kind of want to see it.
You can always cheat and just forward your clock a little bit on the game, and
Yeah, just to see that. Yeah, but it
but
means, of
saying that,
course, it means that
you're gonna.
I've got another reason to take my 3DS out with me every day now.
Yeah, yeah. I'm surprised it's taken you so long to get into the whole Animal Crossing hype, to be honest.
Well,
But
like I said,
so welcome aboard.
welcome amiibo.
Yeah.
I haven't scanned any in yet. Uh, but yeah, I mean, my first foray into it was Happy Home Designer, and I did play that a bit, quite a bit, and then it kind of dropped off the radar for me. And
Yeah.
others were like, "Yeah, I understand," because all you're doing is decorating house after house after house. It's not truly representative of Animal Crossing.
No, but it
And
was an
same,
interesting idea. So I only played a little bit of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. I must admit it wasn't for me. Um, I just enjoyed the 3DS version a hell of a lot more.
I'm screwed, aren't I? Let's not forget
Yeah.
as well. There's Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival on the Wii U, which
Yes,
is
I managed
not
to pick a copy of
representative
this.
of Animal Crossing.
No, I managed to pick a copy of this up from Game a while ago actually for
You
five
did.
pounds. Yeah, £4.99.
And just
And
recently,
it's
in fact, it
still
might still be in the shops now. I think it's Poundland. You can get Amiibo Festival for a fiver.
really.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I remember seeing in I think it was Poundland. Yes, yeah, it was in Poundland in the Arndale. Just before Christmas, and they had some of the Lego Dimension models as well.
Oh.
They had Wonder Woman and I think it was Doc Brown from Back to the Future. So yeah, that's a great move on their part. They can manage to get some of the old amiibos and they'll fly out
Well,
for a
they're
pound.
selling old games in general, of various
Yes.
other platforms, and they've had a couple for the Wii, and here's one of them. Okay, well, we've had quite a few things happening over the last couple of weeks in the world of Nintendo. I think the biggest news is that Nintendo have got a couple of new presidents, haven't they, Graham?
They have, yeah. I was just reading on my Nintendo news from on Twitter.
Mhm.
We have a new Nintendo president, Shuntaro Furukawa, if I've pronounced that correctly. He is the sixth president of Nintendo.
Mhm.
He doesn't really have any games experience, creating game experience or anything like that. He's more of a businessman, but he's been with Nintendo since 1994 after graduating from university. And he's been working in the marketing department.
I think one of the things that Shuntaro Furukawa is, what I think he's best known for at the moment, is that he grew up with Nintendo games. He started out with the NES and carried on with all of the other consoles. So he kind of lives and breathes it.
Yeah, and that's obviously a great attribute to have as well. He knows Nintendo inside out. He knows a lot about the history. He knows what makes the company tick. He knows what people want, and I think it's a great decision to give him the job, and I wish him all the very best.
And as do I, as do I. We've also got a new president of Nintendo of Europe, haven't we? What's his
We
name?
do,
Stephen
yeah,
Bull.
yeah, we do, yeah. His name is Stephen Bowl. He's got a lot of experience working with Nintendo. He's been the managing director for 14 years.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and he's also been a senior managing director for the European subsidiaries and affiliates for 3 years. So yeah, this is another guy who's got a lot of experience working with Nintendo as well. So yeah, it'd be great to see what he brings to the table. He will
Absolutely.
be replacing Shibata-san,
Ah, yes,
who's
Shibata-san.
yeah. So yeah, I wish him all the very best of luck as well.
Absolutely. Moving on to other news that's been with Nintendo recently. Of course, anyone who's everyone knows that Minecraft was re-released on the Switch, and this is the version that includes the cross-platform play. With
Yes.
it covers what is it? PC, mobile, tablet, and the Xbox, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And if you do have a Microsoft account, you can actually earn achievements through this as well. So it's a great feature. It is such a shame that Sony still won't be playing ball with this because you
Yeah.
are limiting quite a few people. You know, these people won't be able to join in on the experience, which is it's a very sad thing.
Mm.
Um, but hopefully they'll see the light sometime soon, and then those people who have it on the Switch and all the other consoles will be able to play together
And that's what it's all about.
sometime soon. Yeah.
Right, now, I've not tried the cross-platform play aspect of it yet. I don't know anyone who plays Minecraft on Xbox at the moment, for example. But I do have the original Minecraft, the Nintendo Switch edition, and I've had that for quite some time. So I've got a few maps on there which I've worked really hard with, and what's great is that you can port them across. You can convert them to this new version. It takes a short while. I suppose it depends on how many changes you've made into your map, how many buildings and what have you've done. But once it is ported over, everything looked fine. Although my portcullis in my castle is still not working, so I need to fix that.
I mean, I do have Minecraft for the Xbox One, so maybe one day we'll be able to just have a bash and see what it's like. I have been very tempted to buy it for the Switch, but I mean, I don't play it for the Xbox, so I'm not really sure whether it'll be a great investment for me. But seeing as I've already got it, we could have a bash sometime in future, and be able to give an opinion on the next podcast.
Ah, yeah, we'll have to. I'll have to add you
Yeah.
onto my friends list on that.
Yes. Yes. Well, of course, we'll. Yeah.
Not to mention, anyone who got the original version of Minecraft on the Switch, this new one is completely free for you. All you have to do is just go onto Nintendo eShop on your Switch, find Minecraft, and it should be listed as free. So just go ahead and download the new update. And just to put everyone's minds at rest, if you were thinking of just like downloading it and just trying it out, but were worried about losing any maps that you transfer over, it really only converts them to the new game. So your map is still on your old version. So you've really got nothing to lose. If you transfer it over and you don't like it for any reason, your map is still on the original version of the game.
Fantastic.
Now, I had a wander around one of my maps, and the first thing that I noticed with this new version is how it draws like all the blocks in the distance. It does it in uh, big chunks, and it's completely empty space, and then very slowly they fade into existence block by block. And I don't know, that feels like a step backwards compared to what was on the Switch, because yeah, it still did it in blocks, but it was boom, 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 boom. They all appeared really quickly, and this one's really
Okay.
slow.
Oh, it's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine if once they're generated, that's it. They're generated, and you don't have that problem anymore. But if you're doing a lot of walking around, you're quite limited in how quickly you can walk because of that. It might just be something that they're already looking into. that they might fix, but at the
Yeah,
moment, it's a bit strange.
yeah. I mean, it's a new feature as well with everything with cross playing and everything like that. So there's bound to be some bugs. Hopefully they'll be easily fixed and sorted sometime soon.
Absolutely.
We have some more news, Andy, as well.
Oh,
This week sees the relaunch, let's put it that way, of the Nintendo NES Mini.
yes, the restocking.
They are restocking.
Or should you say they have restocked? They're available for purchase right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I was very lucky to grab one first time round.
Ditto.
Unfortunately, there was a lot of people who weren't as lucky as I was, and same with you. Did you manage to pick one up as well?
I did, yeah. It wasn't on the first shipment. Mine was in the second shipment.
Yeah, same here. I managed to get mine, yeah, on the second run as well. But this is fantastic news because Nintendo have really listened to the community, um, and it was a massive hit. They couldn't make them quick enough at one point, and then they stopped making them altogether. And unfortunately, we had a lot of scalpers on
Hmm.
eBay, charging 3, 4 times the amount for the consoles, and a lot of people were very, very annoyed, which is understandable, really. But no, Nintendo, they've listened, and they've created more, and they've put them back out again. So yeah, kudos to Nintendo there. And if you were unlucky to get one first time round, make sure you get onto the Nintendo shop, or any other retailer, and see if you can pick one up because there are some cracking games on there.
There are.
It's a
They're listed at the moment for £50.
yeah,
So if you've got a spare £50 lying around, be sure to pick one up.
yeah.
And what's
Um,
great as well this time round, they've also started. Well, at least it seems that they've started selling this as well. I never noticed it the first time round. You can also get a second controller for something like £8.
oh yeah, you could buy a controller last time round as well. I just didn't know how much they were going for. That's all.
Because I
Um,
never saw
but
them listed, but maybe it's because maybe they sold out so quickly too.
yeah, possibly. Yeah, I could do to pick one of those up actually. So it's a good point there.
I
Um,
would, but a few months ago, Poundland had like NES Mini controllers, like third-party ones, available for a
yes,
fiver
they did.
each.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I snapped up two of them. They've got much longer cables on. But one thing that I really hated about them is they didn't have a dedicated home button. So yeah, you could still comfortably sit on your sofa with the NES Mini under your TV, but you still have to get up and press the reset button to get back to the menu. I mean,
Yeah,
I know I'm splitting hairs, but it's 2018.
yeah.
We should be able to do it from the sofa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you don't want to pick up one of the other controllers, if you don't want to spend another £8 on top of that as well. If you do have one of the classic controllers for the Wii, you could connect that up as well, and you could use
Mm.
that instead.
Yeah, because that one's got a dedicated home button, hasn't it?
It does, yeah,
Yeah, but the I suppose the downside of that one is those controllers had such short cables still, so putting back
yeah,
at square one.
yeah. But you could have like square eyes by having to sit a little bit closer to the TV. But it's it'll do for the time being, I suppose. But
Or will it? Because 8-Bit Do have announced and have available for pre-order new NES style wireless controllers which are made for the NES Mini,
Oh, wow.
and they've got a dedicated home button.
Oh, fantastic.
So that's
Brilliant.
everything solved.
Fantastic. Yeah. Oh,
So
well, there you go. I mean, you go over and pick one of those up, or if
or
you
two.
do buy one of the NES Minis and you don't buy one of them, I'm sure if you go onto eBay, for a couple of quid, you could buy an extension cable, which I ended up having to do anyway.
Yeah, with an extension cable, you would still have the retro feel because you got the big long
Yes.
cable going all along.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So we've had the NES Mini, we've had the SNES Mini. There's been a lot of talk, but certainly nothing confirmed about an N64 Mini. What about a GameCube Mini?
Oh, a GameCube Mini.
That
It
would
could
be
have
great.
it could have the best game that ever came out for that system. And that game has to
Super
be
Monkey Ball.
Star Fox Adventures.
Wait, what?
Yep, Star Fox Adventures. Yep,
No,
yep. I've said it. It's out. It's out. I've said it. Yeah,
surely
one of the
Star
best
Fox
games I ever
Assault.
played. I love that game. I really, genuinely love that game. I know a lot of people frown at me when I say say that, but no, I genuinely enjoyed that game so much. But yeah,
Well, the reason why I mention it is because Nintendo recently renewed the trademark for the GameCube name.
yes, they did. Yeah, but this could mean a lot of things.
Mm.
Because yeah, this could mean a potential GameCube Mini, which yes, we do need, and yes, we do want. Um, Even with a miniature carry handle at the back. I mean, would that fit over your finger?
You could probably
Could you
attach it
get
to
your
your
hand through
keys.
the handle? But also, it could mean something to do with the controllers, a patent for the controller for Smash Brothers as well.
Could, yeah, because that's been put up for pre-order and then immediately went out of stock.
Yeah.
But moving on from GameCube back to the modern day console, the Switch, recent results have shown that Switch is used docked and undocked roughly about 50-50. It's about the same in both of them. What do you think of that, Graham?
I think that's very interesting because this is what Nintendo. I think this is what Nintendo kind of hoped for, really. That you could. This is what it's been designed for. You could play it at home on your big screen, and then when you're out and about, you could play it a handheld. And the fact that people are using it for both intended purposes equally, it shows that Nintendo have done a really good job here and have designed a very, very good console for this.
Yeah, it's nice to see that people are taking advantage of the portable capabilities of the Switch.
Yeah, I mean it's brilliant for. I mean, like I said, earlier, I went to Greece before. Um, I would never have been able to like take a full console over with me normally. Because there was I mean, we had a tiny TV there, but it was having to connect everything up and take everything with you. But for me, it was just taking a very, very thin console inside a carry bag, and I was be able to play home console quality games in my hotel in my hotel room during the night, when I was relaxing.
You didn't fancy playing it on the plane itself?
I did, yeah. I was playing on Yoku and Mario on the way there. But on the way back, it was very late, and the lights were turned off, and people were sleeping mostly. So
So turn that
I
volume
didn't
up.
really. No, you wouldn't have been able to hear much anyway. With the we were actually just right next to the wings as well, so it was quite loud
Ah,
where we were. Even with headphones on, it was quite loud. But yeah, I remember playing it on the way there. Um, and yeah, it worked really well actually. It was very good. I even managed to have a few races with my brother on Mario Kart during the evening, and this is for the first time. My brother has been playing random matches of Mario Kart with me for years,
hmm.
and this was like the first time in 16 years of playing that he's actually won a race against me. And he
You're
was,
slipping.
oh yeah, yeah. But you'd think that England had just won the World Cup with the way that he was celebrating. T-shirt over the head, on his knees, arms in the air.
I can imagine
They
that
were
kind of
brilliant.
response if it was say FIFA.
But yeah, it was that experience there, in the middle of Greece, being able to play a console quality handheld, um, with my brother. that was brilliant. But yeah, it just goes to, like I said before, it just goes to show that Nintendo have done something right here. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
if somebody was only playing the Switch docked or only handheld, they've lost out really.
yeah.
The idea hasn't worked. And
I
to
would
say
say
that,
though, I think I used mine probably 60% docked, 40% undocked.
I think I'm mostly docked because I don't really go out that much with the console. Like I don't travel to work on the bus or the train, so I don't play it that way.
Mm.
I think the only time I ever really play it undocked is when I'm playing on Yoku. I think the experience is a little bit better. And when I'm at like when I'm at the Nintendo Manchester meets as well.
Mm.
And on to the next thing, Andy. We have some Pokemon news. I feel that you be the better person to talk about this, as I've fallen off the Pokemon wagon long time ago. So do you want to share the
Yeah,
news with the listeners there?
yeah, can do. Well, let's just say that, of course, this year, every month there's been one or two legendaries that you can get for, was it Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and of course, Sun and Moon. You can get them completely free, and next month is no exception. Because starting from the 6th of July all the way through to the 22nd of July, so we've got about 2-3 weeks there, you will be able to get hold of Tornadus and Thunderous, two legendary Pokemon from a few series ago. Um, you don't need to go into any shops or anything to get codes. You can download them straight from the Nintendo network. So you can do it from the comfort of your own living room.
I remember back in the day where you had to do that. You had to go to a lot of the shops and get from the download stations and things. It just goes to show just how much technology has moved on now, where you can just do it in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's true. To be honest, I'd prefer if they just did that all the time, rather
yeah,
than rather than forcing people to have to go into a shop in order to ask for the code. But
yeah,
maybe the reason behind that is it brings more on foot traffic into the shops, and then
yeah.
some people might buy something else to go along with it.
Yeah, yeah. I can see the positives and negatives to both sides of that.
Right, so be sure to download Tornadus and Thunderous on your Pokemon Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon from July 6th onwards until the 22nd of July. Now, talking about Pokemon still, for the last month or so, Switch users have been able to play Pokemon Quest. It's a neat little mini game, as it were, where you control like cube shaped Pokemon battling through different regions, and now it's come out on Android and iOS.
Oh, so Andy, have you actually downloaded this yet?
I did, yeah. Um, Not put a lot of time into it though, to be honest, because I've had it on the Switch for the last month. I'm most of the way through the game, and I've got a couple of teams built up, which are quite well for the level are quite strong. So going through it again on phone, it doesn't appeal to me. I did try it out though.
Oh, so you can't really like sign in on one device and sign in on another device and just carry your information over. You've got to have two separate save files, basically.
From what I can tell, yeah, it seems like separate entities entirely.
Oh, that's a shame.
There's no like a kind of cross-play save
Yeah.
system there. I could be wrong, but that's certainly the impression I got from it.
Okay, that's a shame.
But
But
I
obviously
did try it.
they've done well with the crossplay with three games at the moment as well. So hopefully that one will come up sooner or later.
Yeah, but I've got to say though, it does run really well.
Yeah.
Graphics are fine, runs smoothly. It runs about the same as it does on the Switch. It feels like a straight port of the game.
Yeah. So which device would you say it was easier to play it on? Would you say it was the Switch who was easier, or was the touchscreen on the phone a little bit easier as well?
I suppose it depends on what device you're using, but certainly with the Switch, with its decent sized screen, everything's a little bigger. So you've got more wiggle room with regards to tapping the screen to issue commands to your Pokemon. I'd imagine they're a little easier. I mean, I don't have a small phone. It's an XL phone, and even then, the buttons were a little harder to press, but it depends on the phone that you've got. And I suppose with the phone as well, I mean, to play it on the Switch, you'd have to have your Switch with you. Whereas everyone has their phone with them all the time, so maybe some people might consider the convenience of it. I don't know. But it depends on who you are, what kind of gamer you are. I would say if you've downloaded it on your Switch already, probably not worth your while getting it on a mobile phone. But if you never downloaded it on the Switch, or if you don't have a Switch, then absolutely, I'd recommend it. It's a neat little game. Another game that's come out recently for the Switch, Flashback, the 25th anniversary. Now, this is a game that,
Oh
yeah,
yes.
both of us got it, didn't
Yep.
we?
We did, yes. Mine, I haven't played mine just yet. Mine that is actually still wrapped up.
Oh,
But
dude!
I remember this. I know, I know, I know. I will. I still yet to find out the number of my metal card inside.
Absolutely, yeah, because this is the collector's edition, you see. So, with the collector's edition, in fact, I've got the image up in front of me. You get the game, you get a digital remastered soundtrack, you get an actual physical instruction booklet, you get the retro.
Now those are a blast from the past.
You never get manuals anymore. Um,
No, we don't. It's usually just digital versions on the game itself, aren't they?
if
If
that.
you do. Yeah.
Yeah. You also get a steelbook case, which is styled around the SNES physical copy of Flashback. Sadly, though, it is based on the American design and
Oh,
not the European
I was
Japanese
kind of
one.
hoping they were gonna. Yeah, I was kind of hoping they were gonna change that one.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah,
sadly not.
yeah, it
It's
still looks
it still
quite
looks
good from
cool.
what I've
It's still
seen
a
of it.
steelbook, and I love my
Yeah,
steelbooks.
yeah.
And as you mentioned earlier, Graham, there is a limited run collector's card inside the metal case as well. Now, get this: they've only made 40,000 copies of this game as a collector's physical edition. Now, I suppose that sounds like a lot, but when you compare it to how many Switches have been sold, we're talking what is it account at the moment? 14, 15 million?
Something like that. Yeah,
Something like that. I don't have the number in front of me, but it's certainly in the millions. So only making 40,000 copies of this is makes it a potentially very rare title.
yeah.
So the metal collector's card that you get inside the metal case, it's got printed on it a number showing which one in the series that you got out of the 40,000. So
Oh wow.
whoever's
Well,
got number one, envious. Probably them themselves, wouldn't they? They would have reserved that one for
yeah, I
themselves.
imagine so. Yeah, I imagine that'll go to the dev team maybe.
So anyone who wasn't aware of this game in the early to mid '90s, it's a sort of a platformer. It's kind of reminiscent of Another World and what's it called, Prince of Persia.
Yeah, it plays a lot like Prince of Persia. It's got it uses like a rotoscoping technology, which is a bit like a motion capture. It was quite revolutionary back in the day.
And it made all of the movements of yourself and other characters in the game feel so fluid.
Yes.
But
I still
yeah.
remember the movie sequences in there as well, and watching them run. I played the game on the Amiga, the Mega Drive, and the Super Nintendo,
Mm.
and to actually see some of the movie sequences running on the Amiga, it was amazing. I don't know if you could see them on the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo versions, but back in the day, you know, getting movie sequences that looked so beautiful like that, it was amazing.
Yeah, I played it on the Amiga, but I have to say I was absolutely rubbish at it. I never got out the jungle, which is the
Yeah,
first level.
I think I got past the jungle. I'm not sure, but I don't think I got past the second level. I remember
But
playing the second level, but I can't remember if I finished the first level or used the cheat code, so I don't really know.
But I mean, I've been playing it, and it's just as good as ever. I would say though, if anyone wants to pick it up, you can get it on Amazon now for £35, and it's a very limited run. So I would say, if you're even remotely interested in Flashback, just pick it up because even if you go through the game and you only play it once or twice, it's still a collector's item, and it's going to be sought for in the future. And
Yeah, yeah, it will be. I mean, mine's still got its plastic wrap round it. I am tempted to just keep it on my shelf and keep it for my collector's purposes. I have no intention of selling it.
is that since you
Uh,
learned that there are only 40,000 out there?
no, in fact, actually, I was thinking about that beforehand because, yeah, I didn't know there was only 40,000 until we started recording this podcast. But yeah, I'll probably. I'm tempted to open it, but I think I'll regret it later on. I've probably just got like a nice little investment there for future. But like I said, I've got no plans to sell it. That's not me.
You might
Uh,
want to download it then, because you can
yeah,
get the
for
download copy only from the eShop for 17.99 if you'd rather just get
yes,
that game.
yeah, probably. I might just do that one.
Hmm. Now, when you're playing the game, what I noticed is they automatically put on this weird filter, which smooths out all of the graphics. But
Oh, so you don't get all the nice like retro blockiness to the game
exactly,
either, do you?
you can turn it off though, because that was the first thing that I did when I fired it up. I turned it off because it made all the graphics look mushy and squishy.
Oh,
So I turned it all off, and it brought back all that lovely pixelated goodness.
does it play full screen as well, or is it like a small screen and with a like a background like a border around it?
It is in 4:3 aspect ratio.
Is it?
So
Right,
it
okay.
does have borders or banners, as it were, down the left and right hand side. You can turn those off if you want. I quite like it though, because you know how um, on some videos where they're shared on YouTube or Facebook, um, where it's not the right aspect ratio. So what's the video editor had done is kind of enlarge it a little bit, blur it, and you can see it as the borders on the sides.
Right.
It's like that. So as you're moving around, you can see a reflected, faded, blurry version of yourself running the opposite direction.
Ah,
It was a nice effect. It's not distracting, which is the whole point. So it works. But I would say,
okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
I've been playing through it. I've got past the first level finally.
Hey,
After oh
might have taken you 25 years to do it.
yeah, 25 years later, finally at that jungle. Uh, so now I'm on the second level, but I'm not going to bore people with it. But it is an excellent platformer game. It's really good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's worth picking up for if even if you don't go out and get the collector's edition. 17.99 for that game is an absolute bargain.
It's a
You know,
really
give it
good
a
price
shot.
for that. Now, moving on from a game that we both would definitely recommend you get for your Switch to another game which I don't know. I don't know how I could recommend this one, and rather controversial. Mario Tennis Aces came out the other week as well. Now, there's been a lot of coverage about that. It was mentioned in a direct months ago, and it looked like it could have been a really good change to the Mario Tennis franchise. But a lot of people have been quite disappointed with it, haven't they, Graham?
Oh, yeah, it was something to do with the amount of games that you have to play. You can't just play a single match. It has to be, is it best of three or best of five?
Something like that.
Something.
I
Yeah.
mean, well, we'll both say right here, right now, neither of us have actually played Mario Tennis, so all we've got to go on is what's been reported by various news outlets and websites. Apparently, you can't play a regular tennis match on it. Instead, it's a best something like 2 out of 3 or something like that, from what I
Yeah.
heard.
It was like that on the demo. best of three and best of five. But yeah, that was just the online demo. I thought that, you know, when the game came out, you would be able to just play one match instead of having to play two or one round. Or I don't know how tennis works. It's not my favorite sport.
But
But yeah, it's you play one. Is it one set or something like that, and that's it. Instead of playing three or five, it does seem a bit silly that you can't just have a one-off match, really.
yeah, I'm not a tennis expert either, and of course, I've not played this game either. Um, but I have read that people are really disappointed at this. In past tennis games, so I'm told, you could have custom rules where it was much more like a regular tennis game, but those rules are somewhat absent from this version of the game, and it's led to a number of people even trying to get refunds on it.
Oh, I mean, I remember when the last Mario Tennis game came out. I think it was for the 3DS or something. And that lacked, or was it the Wii U? Sorry, no, it was the Wii U version, and it lacked like a bit of a story mode.
Hmm.
But now they've included a story mode, but seem to have got something else wrong. It's like they're just struggling to find that happy medium at the moment.
But I would imagine with a setting like this, it could be as simple as a fix as just patching the game.
Yeah,
If it's just a missing setting, then surely that could just be pushed out in a later update.
yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah, I think taking the game back for such a small little flaw like that is a little bit extreme uh, by my reckoning. But
Yeah,
yeah, you know,
I mean, you don't
let
go for
Nintendo.
Mario Tennis for, well, I certainly wouldn't, for an authentic tennis experience. I suppose if you want that, there's always Tennis World Tour, which has recently come out.
Okay,
Now that looks like it's more in line with being a more traditional game, and it's got like licensed players and everything in it. So if you're after an authentic tennis experience, then Tennis World Tour is an option. Whereas Mario Tennis is really more for casual players, I suppose.
yeah, yeah, and it's out just in time for Wimbledon. So you know, if you're not really that good enough out on the tennis court and you still want to win a nice, lovely gold trophy or silver shield, go ahead and pick this one up.
Now, moving on to more current releases. Now, of course, when I say more current, I'm talking yesterday on Friday. Well, at least from the date of this recording, anyway, because we've got a couple of big hitters come out for the Switch. Firstly, we've got Wolfenstein 2, which we discussed earlier in the podcast. Well, also, Crash Bandicoot is here!
Yes.
Now, I know a lot of people were excited about Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy coming to the Nintendo Switch because it came out on the PlayStation, it came out on Xbox. We've now got it on the Switch, and a lot of people are excited about it.
They are, yeah, and rightfully so. The game looks absolutely gorgeous. Uh, you know, it's no longer in its blocky, pixelated 1990s glory. It's now fully upgraded with beautiful graphics, beautiful sound, and yeah, you know, I just think this is going to be absolutely, definitely, I'm going to be picking this one up when payday comes along.
Yeah, I mean it's the I never really got into Crash Bandicoot. I never really played it, but I know a lot of people are excited about it. So and it's
Yeah,
always good news when you've got something which was a console exclusive coming out on other platforms, especially when you've got a remastered edition as well. That shows great promise, and it shows that the developers and publishers are supporting the Switch as well, which is always great
yeah,
news. Now, I've got to say, I mean, I've seen footage of it. It looks good.
yeah. I remember seeing footage of it when it was first announced at E3 last year. Um, you know, when people have been crying out for a Crash Bandicoot game V, and they didn't just get one, and they got it all polished up. And you could tell by the massive outcry of yeses and woos that it was a massive decision. It was a great decision. And now that that game's coming out on the Switch as well, it's a very, very good move from the developers.
Now, it's interesting that you just mentioned about E3 last year for Crash, because I wanted us to move on to having a short discussion about E3 from this year, because it was about a couple of weeks ago from the date of recording now, and now that the hype has died down, we all know what's been announced at E3. All of the rumors have been thrown away. I'd like to just briefly discuss about well, what did you take from E3?
Um, well, I took a pre-order for Starlink from E3.
Ah,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, and I didn't know until listening to the last podcast when Afia mentioned that if you had 100 Ubisoft points on the Ubisoft account, that you got 20% off on the store, which knocked the price for Starlink down from about £70 to about 55.
Yes, it did.
So, yeah, unfortunately, I only had 65 Ubisoft points on my account, so and I don't have any Ubisoft games that I could currently go through and try and get some points for my Nintendo consoles. Um, Maybe apart from Zombie U, but I think I've claimed all them.
Ah,
So I had to go through. So I started to go through Assassin's Creed um, Origins on the Xbox One.
mhm.
Managed to get the extra points that I needed, and now I've pre-ordered Starlink.
That's excellent.
This game's actually it come out of nowhere for me. I mean, I remember seeing it last year, and I thought. It looks all right. The whole Toys to Life thing as well. It's been a bit hit and miss for a lot of things. But then seeing how it worked properly, connecting all the weapons onto the wings and the wings onto the ship, uh, and I thought that was absolutely amazing. Um, but the thing that got to me the most was as soon as you heard all the retro voices from Starwing or
Yeah.
Star Fox if you're in other territories. And as soon as I heard them, I thought, that's Starwing, that's Star Fox, what's it? And then it shown Star Fox coming up, and it that sold it for me. Uh,
That's I think sold it for many of us, me,
yeah, yeah,
Afi and I included.
yeah. I remember listening to the last podcast, and you're all talking about it. But yeah, I'm incredibly excited about this game. It looks amazing. And the added feature that you've got added Star Fox levels in the game, which is exclusive to the Switch as well. Which is it's brilliant. Nintendo haven't, unfortunately, Star Fox Zero. It never came out with to great reviews.
Hmm.
So hopefully the Starlink team can do something special with this license as well. I mean, the ship that you get with the game as well, the R-wing, it looks amazing. The little figures you get with it as well, they look really good as well. And it'd be interesting to play this game as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it as well. It looks like it's going to be absolutely top notch. I think it's 16th of October. It's due to come out.
I think so.
Yeah, but I've got mine pre-ordered as well.
Fantastic, yeah.
It's
Um,
probably gonna go well in my amiibo collection.
yeah, yeah. It's also going to go around with everything that I don't have room for.
Yeah,
So
well,
it'll
that's
just be
it. We've
there,
all
yeah.
got no room for all of the
Yeah.
Nintendo collectibles.
Nintendo, stop making such cool things.
No, oh, wait, no, don't stop making them.
No, don't. No. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, carry on.
Speaking of cool things, though, of course, Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, the pre-orders have now come out. Are now available on Amazon for those. They're listed for what is that? Around about £80 each.
I thought it was about 80 to 90 pound. And that was for, in fact, I think I've just spotted it on Amazon. It's uh, you
It
get the game and the controller, and
Yeah,
it's
you get the
eighty nine
Pokeball.
ninety nine
89.99.
on Amazon. 89.99 on Amazon.
That's
Yeah,
at
and you
time of
get the
recording.
That's at the time of recording, yeah. Um, I've got to say though, mate, I'm not sure whether I'll pick it up. Um,
Well, you've
I'll
not
probably
been
wait.
playing Pokemon all that much recently, have
No,
you?
no. I mean, I was kind of hoping for this game to be the next big one in the series. And if it was, then I would have picked it up. But I do really love that controller. I mean, I know Afi's had his concerns with it, and I totally understand where he's coming from. I kind of hope that you'll be able to use it on the next Pokemon game or every other Pokemon game that comes out for the Switch. I probably would have pre-ordered it if it was the next one in the main one in the series.
Yeah, we're looking at next year
I'm
for that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, speaking of pre-orders, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is now available for pre-order as well.
Yes, and also the two new amiibo. I'm not sure if they are up for pre-order just yet, but the Ridley and one from Splatoon, is it Inkling Girl?
Yeah, it's the Inkling Girl.
Uh, yeah, they should be up soon, and they look really good. But this is something I wanted to discuss with you, Andy.
Yeah.
Obviously, now that Smash Bros. Ultimate has been announced, and the fact that every single character that has ever appeared as a playable character in Smash Bros. Is now making the appearance in this. Um, this is probably going to mean that we're going to get a whole new batch of amiibo.
Yes.
And I have to say, I'm very, very excited to find out that Solid Snake's going to be in this because I really want that Solid Snake amiibo.
Yeah. Well, this was something that Afi and I discussed in the last podcast as well. You've got those two, Ridley and Inkling Girl amiibo. With every single character coming in, you got to think like Solid Snake, Ice Climbers, amongst others.
Yeah, the Ice Climbers amiibo. I think that's going to be really pretty. To be honest, I think that's going to be really good.
It's going to be tricky.
Uh,
It's going to be tricky to pull
yeah,
off.
yeah, I think so. But going back to that Solid Snake one, it's like, how is he going to pose? Is he going to be under a box? It just
It would
seems.
just be a box of oranges. There's your amiibo.
Or is he going to be dangling from a cable or something like that? I'm not really sure, but I've got every faith in the design team to create a decent amiibo for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got to say I'm looking forward to Smash Bros. Ultimate very much.
Yeah, it
Uh,
does look like it's going to be really nice. It looks much more polished and runs better
yeah,
than the Wii U version. Um,
yeah,
so, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is available for pre-order right now, and not to mention the Nintendo GameCube controller adapter for the Switch is available for pre-order, and at the same time, the new Super Smash Bros. Edition GameCube controller came out for pre-order too, but that's sold out like hotcakes. It is completely out of stock now.
yeah. That's just typical Nintendo, not releasing enough ready for us hot gamers.
I know, right? Oh boy. But yeah, that's out of stock
It's
at
the
the
amiibo
moment.
situation all over again.
It is. It is. In fact, I'm sure they had similar problems when Smash Brothers was up for pre-order on the Wii U. That maybe not so much the
Oh, I don't.
controller, but the adapter certainly
Yeah,
sold out really quickly.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. That sold out really, really quickly, didn't it? And did they stop making that eventually?
They must have. I think they had a
I
second
think.
wind a little after,
Yeah.
maybe a year after. I think that is all the time that we've got for this episode. Thank you very much for listening. But what do you guys think? Did you pre-order any of the games that were announced at E3, like Starlink, Pokemon Let's Go, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and any of the accessories that came with that? What about any of the other games that came out a couple of weeks ago, like Minecraft, or the Pokemon Quest game, or Mario Tennis? Crash Bandicoot, Wolfenstein? Did you pick any of them up? Let us know down below in the comments or in the post on our Facebook group. Thank you again for listening, and well, that's been Graham,
And that's been Andy.
and you've been you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.